It's another beautiful day. The world is at its best. Everything is amazing. And we need to smile. My joy to you today is to smile. Send your kiss, smile. Just smile. So, what did you say to yourself this morning? I say, hey, beautiful you. How are you doing on this absolutely amazing morning? How are you doing today? So, here we are. I thought, it's a day to smile. We went through an entire week. We had all kinds of amazing things happen. We had weather to die for. We had weather to help the garden grow. We had weather to bring the sunshine out. And now we are here. Amazing day. So my greeting to self was, good morning, you beautiful you, smile. Here we are this morning. And I wanted to talk to you today about the power of visualization. Visualization is key. So in all we do, we must visualize it. You have to visualize what it is you desire. So life has given us imagination, the power to visualize. But we move from imagination to visualization because visualization is the key. It's the one thing we can do and it does not cost a penny. What it takes is a little bit of time from gossiping, a little bit of time from watching something that's not going to help you, a little bit of time about thinking of somebody else, a little bit of time about watching how many people this person is interacting with, a little bit of time from something that is mundane. You know you can visualize while you're cooking, right? Do you know you visualize all the time? We visualize mentally and then we visualize, we make this picture. So I was writing, I mightn't be able to see it properly. I said visualization is key. You see, until you see what you are doing, you don't stop visualizing. So I wrote down visualization has no limit. The only limit is what you put with it. You put the limit. So you visualize it until what you visualize becomes now, the moment. You never stop visualizing until you see what you said. Okay? So visualization is looking, seeing. So you keep visualizing it until it's there. And that is what visualization is all about. So the power to visualize is up to you. It is a key. Did you hear that? Visualization is the key. It's not a key. It's the key. That key that will fit into the lock of your imagination. What you visualize will happen. And you keep seeing it until it materializes. So you keep visualizing until it materializes. One of the things that I know for sure is that if you're going to visualize, make sure it is something for you. You cannot visualize for somebody else. You can encourage them to visualize. You can tell them to visualize. But you cannot make them visualize and you cannot visualize for them. And I am sure if I ask you why, you are going to say to me, the vision of the version of visualization is different than yours. That's what it is. So that's why you cannot visualize for somebody, or you cannot tell that person you should be doing this. That is your version of a vision. Has nothing to do with us. So visualization is the key to open the lock and to give you your desire. You keep seeing it until it hits you and it's standing in front of you. You keep seeing it in your mind until it becomes part of you. That's what I wrote. I wrote, put yourself in it. Visualization is the actual cream of the crop. That dream must be balanced. You must bring it out. Your spirituality will help it to happen. But that is not enough. The big enough is to see the big picture. So what do you see when you think of your desires? You have to see and let it go. Open it out and bring it out. Let your visualization be the best part of you. Take that visualization and bring it out. Stretch it out. See it. It does not have to be all day, all night. It has to be at specific times. I think and I believe and I practice visualization 3 times a day. Most medication you have to take, the doctor writes on the prescription 3 times a day. Before or after meals, 3 times a day. It looks like 3 times a day is good for a lot of things. So, I am going to tell you what you should do. There is a moment in the morning, and there is a moment in the night, and there is a moment in the middle of the day when the channel is really like this. The channel of between awake and being asleep. It's like this. That is the time for visualization. When the channel is slightly, it's opening, it's closing. It's between awake and sleep. Powerful time to visualize. So you're lying and you're going to get into sleep mode. And you're getting there. And as you're going into that realm, just before you actually fall asleep, but your intention is to sleep, that's when you begin the visualization of what you desire. It could be a new pair of shoes. It could be a permanent resident card to come to Canada. It could be a Canadian passport. It could be the love of your life in your life. It could be being the best coach in the life. It could be being the best mother, grandmother in the world. It could be the best trainer of the world, training the trainers of the world. That's the time you relax into it. You breathe a little bit, and then you go into it. You start to see it, just as your mind is going between staying awake and going into sleep. There's a twinkling of motion at that time. That's when you begin that visualization in the night. So that visualization, you take it with you, and it's not an easy thing to do. There is very few things I will ask you to do that is easy peasy. No. What I'm saying to you, I do this. And it's not easy. It's always going to have detractors. You might start off really well into that realm when sleep and awake is happening, and you're trying to fit your visualization in there, and a horrible thought about a person you don't like will pop in. You have to shift. You keep shifting. And that requires discipline. You keep saying, I need to stay in right here. So your mind is going to wander. That's what our mind does. The discipline is for us to learn how to control it and to get it to stay. So what we do at that time, when we realize, oops, we have gone down the rabbit hole again, you go back in and you push yourself to that point. And you go back again and you're fluttering. So practice this every night, and that's in the night. You know, your body has a thing that it does in the morning. If you are accustomed of waking up at 5 like I do, or 6 or 7, whatever your wake up time is, your body is going to toss about half an hour to 15 minutes before. It's going to take a toss. It's going to turn. And that is when you need to realize you're coming out of sleep. You're moving from the realm of sleep or the position of sleep into active mind. Again, it is still doing this. It is still fluttering. So that's when you go back in and you address it. You do not think about you have to get up. You do not think about the work you need to do. You do not think about the disappointments you've had or the disappointments you're expecting, or your girlfriend is not happy, or your boyfriend is not happy, or your life is not happy, or your parents are disappointed in you, or your father doesn't like you, or your son and his wife is fighting, or your daughter and her husband is... Nah. That is the time you go into the realm and you connect again. And you put your desire in there. And you start to visualize what you desire in your life. Whatever it is you're seeking, that's the time. Twice, those 2 hours, I haven't done the middle. Waking and the fluttering moments. It requires discipline. It requires discipline, and it's difficult because our mind has 60 to 70,000 thoughts. So it's going to think about the horrible neighbor, about the unkind person. It would even take you back to your childhood. That is what it will do to you. It will move you back to that childhood time of your life when things were not working for you. Because that's what a mind does. And that's the only thing you can learn to control is your mind. And it's still not obedient. It doesn't even pay attention to you. So you have to bring it back and get it in tune and ask it to do this. Come on. Come back here. It's like a child. It's like a wayward toddler running in all directions. And you are trying to keep up or pull them back from danger. Because when your mind strays, it's really danger. It's not going nice. It's going to something that is defeating, the opposite of what you are creating in your visualization time. So you need to pull it in, draw it in. It's almost like you have to have your mind on a leash. It's almost like you have to have your mind on a leash to pull it back. We're not going down there. That was not a pleasant time. What's wrong with you? Why are you repeating this again today? Come on. I have something better to create. So you need to do that and bring it back into creation again. You need to visualize it. But there is a different one. The midday one. The middle of the day one. That one is when the sun is shining. It does not have to be at 12 p.m. It does not have to be at 2 or 3. It just has to be somewhere when you are awake. And you are purposefully awake. Not between the REM, not between sleep and wake, not the twinkling time, not the not too short time. The time you do this is the time that you are completely awake. And all you require to start, just to start, 1 minute, 60 seconds. It will be very difficult to sit and do this for more than 60 seconds when you start. And even 60 seconds is so hard. You know what it's like to give a 1 minute speech when you were a student, how difficult that was? And it seems like that minute was an hour. Well, that minute is still going to be the same way. But again, Mr. Mind is going to step away and go, I think we're going down the store to shop today. I need to get grocery. The laundry needs to be done. My boss is this. My cousin is that. That's where the mind is going. So you have to be able to, whether you're standing, and if you choose to stand to do this, plant your foot on the ground like you are afraid of falling. Honestly. You have to do boom and boom, and you go, okay, I'm ready. Take a deep breath and start it. Put your timer on, and the minute you press that timer button, close your eyes and let it go. See yourself being that. Visualize it. That is in the middle of the day. And that is the most important time to do it. You know why? Because if you can conquer that, the one in the morning and the one at night is easy peasy. So that 1 minute you start, just 1 minute, 60 seconds of visualizing your future. And visualization is key. See it until it becomes the real thing. Fear. I talk about fear. Do not be afraid when you're visualizing to bring it out. Because what fear is, I don't know how this came to my mind, but fear, I said, I have to read it out to you. I wrote this down because it was so strong in my head that I had to write it down. And I don't know if I wrote it down in this book or in another book. Fear, I got it. Fear, I said, is false evidence appearing real. So do not be afraid of the false evidence that you will not get it, or the people that told you visualization is stupid. It's not, trust me. So put your mind down. In the middle of the day, 1 minute. Stand your feet. When I went to Peru, I noticed all their doors and windows were like this. And I asked why up on Machu Picchu. And they said to me, it's because when you take that stance, you cannot fall. The movement of the volcano and the earthquakes will not, and it will not fall. And there is proof these things have lasted thousands of years. So take the warrior stance. I think that's what it's called. If it's not, oh well. Open your legs, spread it apart, take a deep breath, and give yourself that minute to visualize what it is you desire. That is in the middle of the day. Not at noon, but in the day, before sunset and after sunrise. 1 minute, 60 seconds. If you can do it for longer, do it. But your mind will still stray from your visualization. This is a practice I want you to do, so I'm going to repeat it again. At night, before you fall asleep, when you are between this and that, falling asleep and still being awake, you go in there, and that's when you lie there and you start to visualize your need. Visualization is key. What it is you desire. And your mind, with the 60,000 horrible thoughts or great thoughts or wonderful thoughts, is going to take off like a mad hatter. It's going to take off just like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. It's going to take off like a kid, a 2-year-old toddler taking off, and it's up to you to slide through to catch that human being, that tiny human. That's what your brain is going to do. And you have to say, no, I don't want to remember my brother was rude to me, or my sister, or my aunt told me this, or so my husband said that, or my mother-in-law told me I was a fool. No, I don't, we know that already. So let's just stay on the visualization. So that's a work, that's hard to do. That's at night. In the morning, when you first kick off the cover, or you pull the cover tightly, and you know you're going to wake up, you're waiting for the alarm with bated breath, that's when you do it again. Same thing. Your mind is going to remind you of all the things you need to accomplish today. But you do not want that. You want to have the key. And visualization is the key to open your desires and make them a reality. So in the night, before you fall asleep, when you are like this, between awake and sleep, in the morning, when you're waking, trying to sleep, but you need to wake, that's when you bring it in. And in the daytime, just because you are completely aware of what you are doing. 1 minute you start with. if you can conquer 1 minute with one visualization that takes you from what you desire to see it fulfilled, then you're going to get it. Everything we do requires discipline. If you are not disciplined to come to the morning blessing, then that's okay. But if you are disciplined to do something for yourself, and you come because you know, I am going to get a tiny thing today, then come. It doesn't matter what people think. It does not matter at all, because they are not living your life for you. Nobody is living that amazing, wonderful life that you are creating but you. And in order for you to get it, you need to do it. Do not expect somebody to come from somewhere and say to you, hi, I have the cure for your ailment. I have a design for your future. And you have to look at them and say, oh yeah? I had to tell somebody last night on my live, after the live, because they thought it was absolutely necessary to let me know there weren't many people watching the live. And I said, well, how many people was on your live? And they answered, I don't do a live. I said, well then, you know what? I'm going to go to bed. And I went and had a cup of tea and brushed my teeth, had a shower, go to bed. I didn't even answer. So that's what I mean. You're going to have those situations happening all the time. It does not matter who is seeing you, as long as you can see you. Smile. Smile at your desires, even when you cannot see it. As I said to you, visualization is key. Although the world is crashing, you still have the power to visualize. You can move yourself from the worst situation by just your mind, using it, but you need to be disciplined. You cannot do it today and then do it on next Tuesday and do it next Saturday and expect results. That's rubbish. Absolutely utter rubbish. So to be disciplined, you must do it all the time, and you will get better at doing it, and what you desire will come. But if you do not visualize and you give up on your dream because it's taking too long, then something is wrong with your mind. Just keep doing it until it falls down. How many times did they say in the scripture, did Joshua go around the wall? He didn't touch the wall. They just blew their trumpets and the wall fell. That's what they said. So you do not have to fight. We know that because we have people in the 20th century who told us you don't have to fight. Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, they said do not do violence, but stay on top of it. Do not let go. So keep your visualization going, and anybody that says to you, this is happening, why this is happening, how come of this, ask them, have you done what I'm doing? That's all. The choice is they might never talk to you again, or the other bigger choice, the one you're hoping for, they'll never say that to you again. And they will walk away saying, you do have a plaster for everything that is so, don't you? And you have to say, yes, I do. So now that you know that, can you just leave me alone and let me dance my dance? That's what you have to remember. We are unique. Visualization is key. When you start digging a hole, you don't dig it right away at 100 feet wide. When they came to put this post here for the hammock, the man had to go, and the machine, it didn't just go doom and here's the hole. It took time. So it's the same thing with your power of visualization. It will take time. And you will see it clearly, more clearly, every time you do it, more of it will materialize, more of it will show up. Look at the great athletes. They tell you, I visualize myself taking that 3-point shot. I visualize myself having a home, not a home run, just hitting that ball, and everybody on base came home. He said, I practiced that in my mind before I actually did it in person, over and over again. You want to lose weight, you have to go and join Teron's group or something. You have to do something. You must take your nutrition. You must watch what you eat. You must do the exercise. You must go for at least a daily walk. Right? And after a while, it will start getting better. But you can also see yourself with all the curves in the right places if you're female. And if you're a man, see the six-pack. See it. Stand in the mirror and believe it. Visualize it, because visualization is key. And so I am sending you light and joy on this fabulous Friday morning.